Although Trump's US tariffs were imposed on all countries, many people are paying close attention to how China is handling the situation. Why? Because a trade war between the US and China could be devastating for the global economy. But what is a trade war anyway? According to data released by the IMF in February of this year, the US and China are the two largest world economies. They sell a lot of things to one another. Trump thinks that it is unfair that China sells more things in the US than the US sells in China. So he started adding these tariffs so that stuff that's coming from China becomes more expensive to buy by essentially adding something like an import tax called a tariff. Then China gets upset and says, okay, we'll make things more expensive for people to buy things from you as well. So they add their own tariffs for goods coming from the US to China. This back and forth of making things more expensive is called a trade war. So basically, a trade war is when two or more countries try to hurt each other's businesses by putting taxes on the things they buy and sell to each other. It's like a fight where everyone ends up paying more for things, and sometimes it can hurt everybody. You might ask, well, if the trade war is between the US and China, what does that have anything to do with the rest of the world? Well, here's the thing. Because they are so big, what they do affects everyone else. Many products are made with parts from different countries. A trade war can mess up the supply chains, causing delays and shortages. This means that products that we rely on, from electronics, phone, cars, etc., could become much harder to get a hold of. Some people might say, well, isn't it 90% of the goods made in China anyway? Well, even if you want to buy directly from China, many goods have components from the US or other countries. If those components become expensive or unavailable due to the trade war, production gets disrupted. Another thing is when trade slows down, businesses invest less and economies grow more slowly. This can lead to job losses and financial hardship for people around the world. Trade wars also create uncertainty, which makes businesses and investors nervous and holding back. This can lead to financial instability and making it hard for countries to work together on other important issues. And things can get more complicated, especially for small countries. Why? Although it's not always visible to commoners like us, behind the scenes, there are a lot of power plays. You see, both the US and China have a lot of political and economic influence. They might pressure small countries to take sides or limit trades with one another. This pressure can limit a small country's ability to take advantage of cheaper goods. Another thing that might happen is currency fluctuations. We already started seeing this even though this whole tariff situation just started unfolding. The value of a small country's currency might change during a trade war, which can make imported goods more expensive even if the base price is lower. We might also see a heightened competition to buy available goods, especially if the supply is limited. Initially, I thought, well, if those Chinese goods that are typically being sold to the US has a lower demand there, why not just sell the goods elsewhere? If more Chinese products flood the Asian market, for example, wouldn't that make things cheaper for us to buy? But apparently, it is more complicated than that. It is still depending on which item are we talking about. If other countries also try to buy those quote-unquote leftover Chinese goods, the price might not drop as much as expected. So as you can see, the situation is a little bit tricky for small countries. So what's next? Honestly, nobody knows. The whole situation is madness and the world rarely sees something like this. Leaders from all over the world react differently depending on their strategy. European Union, for example, already offered Trump a 0 for 0 tariffs on industrial goods, an offer they even suggested before Trump announced the US tariff. Singapore and Australia choose not to retaliate, while China chose to slap back 34% on US goods. Trade war is like playing a game to see who will blink and concede first. But the thing is, Trump has been holding his conviction about tariffs for a very long time. There's this old clip from 1988 when he was being interviewed by Oprah, and even back then, he already expressed his disdain on how difficult it is for US manufactured goods to be sold in Japan and that something must be done about it. But on the other hand, I don't think China will back down anytime soon. Why? Well, because even without the US, they still have their domestic markets as well as international markets, as virtually all other countries are still buying goods from China one way or the other. There's also this sense of national pride to maintain its image as a global power. Backing down too easily could be seen as a sign of weakness. Some analysts said that the best case scenario is after the US gives tax cuts domestically and the Feds lower their rates, then Trump will roll back some or hopefully all of his tariffs. He might position the situation as deals have been made with numerous countries and declare US victory. But some are also worried that if this trade war festers too long, we might be at a point of no return. My suggestion for everyday people like you and me are still the same. Make sure you have an emergency funds for at least 6 to 12 months if you haven't gotten one. Make sure you have sufficient insurance. Try to hold on to your current job. Continuously upgrade your skills that can earn you more money and be more prudent on your spending because this could be a very long ride. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.